This video is going to go over the straight arm plank, which is essentially the top of a push-up or the push-up up position. So what I like to do before I even get myself up in this position, I haven't got it in the video, but before I even get up onto my toes there, all right, what I like to do is get myself locked in while my knees are still on the ground. So my position would be more like with my knees on the ground and my hands on the ground here. So I like to lock everything in and then press up into the actual plank position, because if you are not locked in and you're in a bad position when you press up into the plank position, it's very hard to rearrange yourself while you're under tension. So you're better off creating that tension before you even go up and getting a good position, and then you're actually able to hold it much better when you get into the proper plank position. So when your knees are still on the ground, you want to place your hands in the correct position. You can see mine are slightly back there. I just tend to do that. You can have them directly under your shoulders, but you don't want them any further forward than your shoulders, just to get them in a nice strong position. So with your hands and your elbows, you're trying to twist them, like corkscrew them, so that your elbows are facing at a 45-degree angle backwards. And that'll lock everything in your shoulders and in your upper back. Moving into the core, you're going to be bringing your belly button up towards your spine, and you're going to be trying to tilt your pelvis back this way while you're while your knees are still on the ground, so your legs are bent. But even with this straight leg position, you're still trying to do that. So you're trying to over-exaggerate that tilt of the pelvis. Think of a dog when it's scared and it's tucking its tail in between its legs. That's the sort of movement that I want you to be trying to go for. And it takes that big arch that people usually get, it takes that out of there and locks the core in much better. So now that we're in a good position with our knees still on the ground, that's when you press up, you hold that tension and you press up onto your toes. Now in this position, I'm pressing as much as I can into the ground, rolling my shoulders like forward. I'm pressing them into there, and I'm keeping my head and eyes neutral. So everything is in a nice straight line. So one thing I didn't mention is your feet positioning. So with your feet, have them either together or just a little bit apart. So work with the same standards as the ADF push-up. Don't go any more than 30 centimeters apart. Some people really like, and it is a good idea, with having your feet together, and it allows you to squeeze your legs together, and that way your body is working as one system all the way from your toes all the way up to your shoulders down to your hands, rather than having two separate feet there and two things to worry about. But I like to have my feet slightly apart, but it's up to you, just as long as you can engage everything that I was just talking about. Okay, so that's the the straight arm plank, which is essentially the push-up up position or the top position of the push-up.